Welcome to our Tuesday edition of Deep Treks. Today we are going to be in Mark chapter 8, down in verse 34. Continuing on with our discussion that we have this week, we are looking at the way of the cross. This is a subject matter that even in Jesus' day wasn't exciting. I mean, we don't think it's exciting today. People use that term, still taking it from Jesus. Take up your cross, help out, do the work, commit. Well, in Jesus' day, taking up your cross meant you were going to die. It meant you were going to give up everything. And so it was serious business to take up your cross. And yesterday we talked about our plans colliding with God's plans. And today we're going to dig in further into the issue of commitment as we go down to verse 34 and read verse 34 to the beginning of chapter 9. So it tells us in verse 34, and calling the crowd to him with his disciples, he said to them, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's will save it. For what does it profit a man to gain the world and forfeit his soul? And what can a man give in return for his soul? For whoever is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous generation, of him the Son of Man will also be ashamed when he comes in his glory with the holy angels. Jesus wants commitment. Jesus wants us to be committed. This comes after Jesus has confronted the disciples, and the disciples have basically said, hey, you are the Messiah. And then they tried saying, don't go to Jerusalem and die. And now he's saying, hey, you got to take up your own cross. You got to commit to me to the point that you're going to do whatever I need you to do. This is a pretty big deal. Jesus is talking, and he's going to share with these people about what it is to be committed. Committed to the way of the cross. He's asking for true disciples. True disciples, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, when they followed Jesus, it was to give up everything you were, to imitate Jesus, to be just like him to the point you would become Christ-like, and people should not be able to recognize the difference between you and him. Now, I think about what it means to be a disciple, and I think I'm so far from that sometimes. And I'm sure we can all say that at times. And I'm sure the disciples were going, wait a minute, we can't be perfect like you, Jesus. We can't do the things you do. And yet Jesus says, come follow me. He's asking us to commit our lives to becoming better followers, to putting him first. It isn't about how many committees we're on at the church. It's not about what we do out in society. It's our relationship with Jesus and our relationship to him and how we live that relationship out to others that's going to matter in the end. Are you being transformed in your life? Are you being transformed so that you can help transform others? Because disciples aren't called to just sit around and do nothing. They're called to disciple other people, to tell others the truth and bring them into an understanding. And so today I want to challenge us. How committed are we to following Christ, to putting his way first, to loving others the way he loved, even to the point of sacrifice? I mean, I can admit I'm not perfect about it. I don't like to give up. I don't like to sacrifice sometimes. But there are times we have to make sacrifice for others so that they can become better. And we can, in humility, lift them up and make them better. Bring them closer to Jesus. That's what it is to be a Christ follower. It's not that we're perfect about everything we do. It's to bring people closer to Christ. We don't lord over our knowledge, even if we have it. We bring people closer to Christ. And we don't worship in a way that keeps people from enjoying Christ. We try to draw them in so that they can enjoy the presence of the Holy Spirit and the presence of God, and that they can understand the peace that we know. You see, being a follower and sharing our lives, that's what it's really about. That's what discipleship is about. Putting Christ's way first. Being like Christ and sharing that with the world around us. I want to leave you with this today. How are you doing about sharing Christ with the world around you? How are you doing about living it out and following him? I hope you're doing great. And if not, through the Holy Spirit, Christ can give you strength. And he will guide you along the way. And he'll help you to share him as you trek this life.
That's today's Devo on Deep Treks. No matter how deep the questions or dark the doubts, there's always a path forward. Reach out at deeptreks.com with prayer needs or topics you'd like us to explore. Keep trekking. Renewal is never far away. Be blessed on the journey and bless others along the way.